Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Code with Nitmala. So friends, we'll just continue that series that we already have started, Vue.js using Laravel as backend. So in the previous video, we just set up the category portion, but as I said that in the today's video, we're gonna set up that category attribute, but unfortunately, I come to know that we haven't even started that attribute portion over here. So in today's video, we'll quickly set up that attribute, and in the next video we'll go through the category attribute, right? So just continue the attribute tab. So basically what is this attribute? If I will show you some of the things, if I go to Flipkart or any kind of search. So basically there are two type of attributes in every e-commerce or in every product section. So the first one is like it's a basic attribute which has some color, which has a which has a color size and color size and different SKUs through which we can differentiate the product. So in other kind of attributes which are likely to use with for the filter process, like if I am talking about any laptop, so the laptop should have a Core i5 processor or Core i3 processor, or is it is a touchable or not, whether what should be the capacity of it, what's the generation of that laptop, it's a 11th generation, 12th generation, 13th generation, 14th generation. So basically these are some kind of attributes which differentiate or which we are used to filter out the products. For example, the basic attributes are like a color, size. These are the basic attribute which we can differentiate from the color, size, their price, and basically yes, these are the basic attributes. But beyond that attributes, some like to filter out a product, like you can't filter out the product by the size and color. So basically size and color is the universal attribute in which every product, every like if we're talking about any cloth section, so every cloth have a size XL, M and L, or the color like red, green, blue, yellow, any kind of color. In every product there is a color and a size. If I'm talking about the laptop, the size should be like if talking about the RAM, it should be 8 GB, 256 GB, 16 GB to 528 GB. So this is the basically size and color, which is a universal attribute in every product. But that attribute which differentiates the product, like my laptop is like it has a i7 processor, or it has a i9 processor, or it has a Ryzen 7 quad core. So basically these are the main attributes which can differentiate, which can use to be filter out the data. So like SSD capacity, what is should be the SSD capacity, right? So we'll go to this attribute first. So yes, these are the basic attribute, right? So I'll close this and we'll create this a new attribute over here. So we'll firstly go to the resources, then views, then components, then sidebar. I will just pull down. So before category, I will create that attribute. So in every attribute there is a attribute name, attribute text, and attribute value, right? So I will write attribute text. So in the second portion I will write attribute value. So what's the basic difference between attribute and attribute value? I will tell you. Control Shift T. Control Shift T. Yes. So what's the basic difference between attribute and attribute value? So look, the processor name of the attribute is processor, right? And the value of a processor is core 5, core i5, core i3, core i7, and like RAM capacity, SSD capacity. So basically these are the name of the attributes, but the value is 512 GB, 256 GB, 1 TB, 4 TB, 2 TB, 128 GB. If I'm talking about graphic processor series, this is the name of the attribute. and these are the values of the attribute, right? So these are basically used for the filtration process. So I will write attribute underscore value over here and attribute value. So firstly we'll create this attribute. So in the attribute table, we only need attribute text and attribute slug. So in the attribute value, we'll attach the attribute ID with the attribute value, right? Because attribute text has many values. Like as I already said, that name of the attribute is SSD capacity, and value it has different values like 512 GB, 250 1 TB, 4 TB, 2 TB. So these are the values, right? So so firstly we work on the attribute section. So copy this, go to the admin.php. mm, I have write is admin is already written. So before this I will create that attribute section. Actually today when I come to start that category attribute, then I come to know that I haven't started the attribute part. So I just think to start this first, right? Attribute store, pull it up, PHP artisan make controller at slash attribute controller. And we slash attribute controller. Hit enter, right? Uh, attribute controller. Also make sure it yes, this one, it also imports that path as well in the header section. So just close this. Now create a model and a migration. PHP artisan make model attribute, and migration has been created, database migration. Then scroll down to the last migration file. Now dollar table, the first one should be the string should be name, and it should be by default nullable. Second one is slug. Save this. PHP artisan migrate. Hit enter. Copy name. Copy slug. For the mass entry, we have to paste some things in the model section. Just go to the model and I think size. I was actually looking for something brand which only have text and name. So where it is, I have to create this one. So we have both name and slug. Save it, close this, we don't need it more. Just go to the controllers, admin attribute controller. Before this we'll also copy from which we should copy, I think from the color controller. I'll copy this from this to this. This attribute text. Now attribute use attribute, not this one. Make sure that you should import the attribute app models attribute. this, I'll do this. I will write it again. Basically, why it writes attribute model? Because in Laravel we also have some kind of attributes, name. That's why it write name like this. So attribute get uh, attribute slash attribute. So now we have a name and slug. Name and slug, it should be string. Perfect. Name slug p color. Just replace this attribute. Successfully updated. All things are good. Attribute. Okay. Now we have to create a simple command. What is the command? PHP addition. Make admin table view. PHP addition make admin data table, right? And attribute slash attribute. So it creates that attribute slash attribute inside the admin attribute. So now I simply just go to the color.blade.php and copy it and paste it over here. Now just change some commands, like we only have two values, name and slug. So I will write name and slug. Action for is data. Now we don't need any kind of text style over here. Remove this slug name slug save data list of id. What is the name of our table? I think I don't remind it. So it is attributes. Also make sure in every blade file you should replace that alt name with the current name that you are working on, right? Otherwise it will delete that id from different table, so it's gonna be mess for you if you can't change the name. So so I will just replace that color with the attribute, and in the yes update, wait a minute, why it has been written brand? I think we have changed in the color grade as well. uh, yes, update color. See, well, so why this is the copy paste thing must be messy if you don't look correctly on it. Name slug and slug. Text code, it doesn't matter. So the id is okay, the code is okay. So basically the text ids correspond to the name and code correspond to slug. That's why it also works, right? I'll just go to this, make a refresh, go to the category attribute text, create attribute. Name should be like processor. The slug should be processor. Why I have written this slug? Because in some of the cases, if you are like talking about, if you are looking about at the processor out of two types, the one processor that we are using in our laptop, another processor that we are using cpus, another one processor that we are also using in mobile phones. So like if in the slug part I will write that processor underscore laptop, right? So whenever we are adding the product, we are creating a product, we should be like understanding that which attribute that we are looking into. Like in the case of laptop we have the processor like i7 i9, but in the case of mobile phones we have 850 processor, right? So that's a big difference when you are creating a product. So always look up into the slug part. Just save changes, successfully updated, but we don't see any kind of product over here. Just refresh it, attributes. Let's look if we have. No, it actually is null. Why it actually shows the null? Let me see. Name slug, it is okay. Name slug, yes, this one. Okay, just go to this and update this. Processor, laptop underscore processor, just save changes. Right, so it is updated and create automatically as we haven't changed this field. So hope you like this video. If you like this, do hit the like button and do subscribe our channel. In the next video we set up that attribute value. So like in any processor it should be i7 the laptop processor, and in the mobile phones it should be like Snapdragon 850, Snapdragon 900, 830, or whatever the value should be. We'll go to the in the next video. So thank you very much.